You're listening to The Osiris Munir Show, only on LA Talk Radio.
Dun, dun. I love that little song. Thanks, Sam. Anyway, hey, everybody. Hi, my luminaries. What's up with all of you out there? It's been a very, very long and arduous and busy week. When I do a commentary, we'll talk about all that has happened. Shout out to all of those who choose love over chaos, harmony and peace over adversities and such. I also wanted to welcome everyone back to the show. I want to give a shout out to two special people that I found out about. One is a big hit on IG. She calls herself the grandmother of the 21st century. She's Polish. Her name is Babka 21 Weka, and she's fabulous. So check her out, you guys. She's very funny. And the other one is a Russian singer, Diana Ankudinova. And she's a 23-year winner twice of a show that she was discovered on called You Are Super, the You Are Super show, for singing in these deep intonative voice, the very popular song, Dernier Dance. I mean, if you've never, it brought me to tears. It's so beautiful and so heartfelt the way she sang it. So shout out to you. Keep going. I'm one of your fans. So anyway, our guest today has led many lives because he's been through many timelines, starting from when he was a young teenager up until now. His story comes from personal experiences. He has developed his own company. He is the founder and publisher of SOHM, Shine on Hollywood magazine. He's also a recording artist and award-winning producer. And we are welcoming him to the set. His name is Arnold G. I'm going to call him Arnie G because I think it's cool. And Arnold G, welcome to the show. How are you today?
Thank you, Osari. Hi, how are you? And I'm real well. Thank you for allowing me to be on the radio with you.
Okay, so I try to kick it off because I get so excited having the different guests and the different stories. I'm going to jump straight into the questions. My first question is, you had to be a little bit intuitive because you launched Shine on Hollywood magazine over a decade ago. You anchored it on the strict rules of no gossip, no scandals, just pure, real people, real stories in a media landscape that thrives on sensationalism. What gave you the conviction that it would not only strive, but thrive? What gave you that conviction to keep it going?
Well, I've been in the industry for 48 years, almost 50 years in the industry, and I saw a lot. And I just felt like there's got to be some type of media or publication that really tell the true stories and give platform to hardworking people who made the celebrity, which is the industry professionals, and also bring back the old school of old Hollywood, where a lot of respect and a lot of discipline involved. And it was just a very time in my life when in 2012, right after I stepped down on my music, I have a lot of setback there, and I'll tell you about that later with my music. So I had to do something. And during that time, 2012, I actually contracted some type of, and I basically died. I came back. So when I woke up on my, my recovery room, and something echoed on me. No, I want you to create my creation. I want to protect my creation. Mm-hmm. And then I don't know anything about what that means until I got the laptop, and then I started creating something, and it became a magazine. And they asked me, the message that comes to my head: no politics, no religion, no sex orientation, and none of all this negative stuff. So I was really excited about that. It kind of like helped me fight my life, because it was very difficult to that illness that I went through. And it's just really difficult for me to just, try to fight for it, but I did. I made it through. So what happened there, and I started talking to the people from the industry. I said, hey, I'm going to make this magazine. It's called Shine on Hollywood Magazine, and what it's about. And I said, well, it's about positive story, positive reporting. And they all laughed at me and said, you're not going to go anywhere with that. I said, why not? Because, Arnold, you got to understand, gossip, anything has to do with negative thing, sales. Positive story doesn't sell. I said, well, I didn't, and I didn't get into debate with that particular person. I just went, okay, fine. And then about 2 years after, my number on my magazine went up to 26.6 hits.
What?
26.6 million hits in the 60 countries. Okay. And then our 140 plus country would decide that this digital, because I came from a computer background. So what I did, I basically bring my skills into the magazine, which I created the video embeddings and hyperlinks and digitize it. And that back then in 2012, it wasn't really, digital publications doesn't exist, but it's not as big as today now. Because we know the print magazine, it's dying down. So a lot of people are going digital now. So I went ahead and put my skills in the computer industry for 27 and a half years into the magazine. And then I used to work in a mental health hospital for 27 and a half years. For 7.5 years. So I brought the psychology behind it. Wow. So when I started Q&A-ing people, people ask, well, why do you do from childhood to current? It's because people want to align their story aligned to people who reads it somewhere, so they can relate to it. And then when they become relate to it, and then they can empower that particular person who's reading it. This magazine made a huge impact to many, many people out there who doesn't know what to do with Hollywood. They don't want to deal with all the other stuff they have to go through. So the good thing about this magazine, we cater to, we feature Q&A industry professionals. Yes. That's where the job is at. And also, they're the one who created Hollywood. They're the one who created the celebrities. They're not getting enough, recognition. So I thought, why not put the spotlight on them? So since then, it grew so big. But just because of that, it's not because I'm looking for who's the hottest or what's going on, any chaos. I'm not looking for it. If my rules of my company, if it's hot, we do not touch. We do not touch. We go completely opposite. Okay, and we would not talk about anything that's negative or any stories or anything like that. We'll talk about how can we empower others and learn about your skills and you learn your work, your job, and the film or music or fashion or whatever. There's a lot there. There's a lot to talk about there. This is a great platform. That's why the video embeddings and hyperlinks are so important. And then it goes all the way to social media. And we it's not just social media, because we have 28 million or 27 million IP addresses. That IP address goes into your cell phone, to all your laptop computers and so on. We don't care about the social media. The social media is the aftermath.
Yes.
You see, aftermath when people want to share. But when we do send the magazine, it goes out to the IP addresses everywhere around the world.
Yes. That's wonderful. And also, the fact that you had that intuition that in the most strangest, lowest of low circumstances, in terms of you not being in control if something happens to our health or something happens, we lose control. You become a little kid. You become a child where someone has to help you feed yourself, take care of yourself, walk back. Anybody that's been in those situations. And the fact that you were able to keep going through that. And I also love what you said about having an open platform for people, for positive and real stories, that challenges that have been overcome, things that people had that could have killed them, as you said, but they overcame them. Those are the kind of things we want to hear about, not, a lot of the Hollywood. I started this show for the same reason, and I admire you for that. Into my second question. I've heard you say that you believe that ultimately what we watch kind of shapes our behavior. What we watch, what we listen to. Where do you think mainstream um, journalism has failed up and coming artists that are on the rise?
Well, yeah, it's true though, because what we hear, what we see affects people's behavior. Hollywood has a huge it occurs on many people. So if we feed them negative, and they get negative. If you feed them something positive, and then they're gonna be encouragement and fight for whatever they need to fight for, so they won't play victims or. So for me, it's important for what I put on the magazine. So the question that you're asking me was the how did I? Can you repeat that question? The last one again. You
Yeah,
asked me.
it's how do you think, because of technology, let me add that word, because of AI technology, the
Yes.
kids are on streaming platforms, Spotify, YouTube, IG, TikTok, Snapchat, all of those platforms. How do you think, with regards to you having a magazine, how do you feel that that the media has, how do you think that they're able to help young artists, that don't have the background that you and I have? They've never really seen a record label, they've never seen been in a magazine or a publication office or anything like that. All their world is in technology and AI. How do you think your magazine, which is a media based magazine, if it got
Well,
to them, how do you think that you can do the service that the journalists don't normally do by just being on a platform? Is what
Well,
I'm
in 2012, when I
saying.
created this magazine on digital, and that's why I did it on digital, so I can reach out to them.
Yes,
And
yes.
also, I've never been in a TikTok, but I went to TikTok. I've never really used Instagram. That's what all they hide all there. Not on Facebook. Facebook for elder people like us. But there are some. But the bottom line is, I'm
I'm
trying
on
to
all.
reach possible as I could. And no, I'm sorry. I'm trying to reach to them as much as possible as I could. But they're so caught up with a lot of things that goes on out there, and it's a sad situation we're living today because of the fact that these kids deserve more, and the chaos that they have to go through. I mean, I feel it's a tough situation for them than my young age. It was lots more simpler when we didn't have the internet. Now they have the internet. Everything is right there. They can see it. They can watch it. They can hear it, and it affects their behavior, affects the way they think. And unfortunately, a lot of them stop listening to us because they're just so frustrated. Work, because of working in the mental health hospital, and I took psychology, and I'm able to reach out to them. I say, I understand your pain. I understand your concern.
Mhm,
Somebody needs to listen to them, and nobody listen to them enough. So they hide on the internet. So I try to
mhm,
reach out to them through the magazine, also making speeches at university and colleges. That's what I do. I
mhm,
speak to these people, and they're all they're like brutal. I mean, they're listening to you. They're
mhm.
always looking for information. Somebody they can really like. You know what? That particular process is of my best interest. It's not because they want something from me. And
Exactly.
and that's exactly how they feel in many ways. They're trying to protect themselves. And
Mhm,
and nobody enough our age, my age at least, to understand what they're going through. And
mhm.
I took a time to really listen to them and not make them wrong, but give them something to think about. That's why I decided to go back to my music because my music is EDM. There's a lot of young youth that goes there
Huh.
and listen to that
Mhm,
kind of music, and I want to be able to reach out to them and earn my credibility with the young people out there that I'm in your best interest. I'm here to help you, and I'm here to share you what I experienced in life. It's a different world than yours, but there's a same matter in a lot of ways that we learn about life. And
mhm.
if I could just to get your attention, but you can't force people. You have to let people be, and those already are not aren't no, there's different levels of people who wants to listen.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And also in or to support what you just said, I know that your own platform, your own coming to where you are has not been an easy journey. You started out as a teenager, homeless, hopeless, You had to do all these weird kind of jobs, everything to keep yourself going, and you put yourself through college. Come on now, and then also the reason I wanted to bring that up is because it leads me into the question of as you crossed different timelines, your timeline from being a teenager, you're growing, you're learning, you're developing a no whole nother mindset about what life is. Is this success or is it the success in Hollywood? So how did going through and coming out of all of that change your perspective about what success really is?
Uh, Thank you for asking that question because it is a very important on my story. And as a young boy in the Philippines, I mean, it was very chaos. It's nonstop, and there's this war going on outside. Oh, you go into a home, you go back home, and you get abused by your family and your
Yes.
dad.
Yeah.
So but when you go outside, when you run away, you go outside, and there's a civil war going on because it was, I don't want to say, well, it was Muslim versus Catholic at the time.
Yes.
People were murdering each other. But the bottom line is here, even though you work on the street collecting garbage and metals, that money is not enough to feed you all day for
That's right.
not even a meal. So you ending up going back home, take the beating. And then, of course, but like in the early 70s, where my family just fled from the Philippines to United States, which is in Northern California, Napa Valley. So my
Mhm.
dad said, everybody go but Arnold. So I decided. I mean, my mom said no, he's going. So I went ahead. My mom said they made an agreement. Like if Arnold go, he would be our servant, and that's exactly what I did. Till I was 13, my dad kicked me out, and I was because I couldn't stand anymore him beating my mom up, and so I always protect my mom. I'm the only person in the brothers, so 10 of us, 9 of us, and none of them will help my mom when my mom getting beat up. I might say, oh, don't get involved. I would go out there on the kitchen, start slamming the kitchen cabinet just to distract my dad for beating my mom up. So my dad knew that I'm immune to all the beating, so he had to kick me out so he could free himself to do whatever he wants to do. So
Mhm.
anyway, 13 years old, didn't speak one word of English, and I had to get a job. So what happened there, I was a paper boy. I would get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, wrap the paper, put it in a bag, and walk around all this
Mhm.
very bad neighborhood. And then, of course, that's not enough. I was getting bullied in school because I was wearing the same holy clothes and,
Mhm.
and for
Mhm.
5 days. So
Sure, yeah.
basically, I had to get another job, which is I started picking garbage on the trash, and I would fix furniture, electronics, and would clean it up. Of course, there's no bugs and all that. So I would sell it to the swap meet. So I learned how to be an entrepreneur since the Philippines when I was.
Early, yeah. You were being prepared,
So
yeah.
I was constantly making something to make money. I never begged for $1, not money at all. I've worked really hard, even though I didn't speak one word of English. But I realized that to make it in this country, you have to learn the language. So I went ahead and taught myself first, and then when I started making a little more money because selling some furniture and electronic stuff, I am able to go to the thrift store and buy some clothes, and then that's when I started seeing bigger world for me, and they started
Mhm.
opening it up, and I started reading books, and I started correcting myself in many ways. So I want to advance my life. I was so excited, even though it seems very difficult, and the whole process I went through. If my attitude back then was how grateful I was
Mm.
to move here from the Philippines. That it's a different world, and the opportunities, the freedoms that I had that I didn't have at all is all here.
Yes.
So
Yes.
what I took advantage of that. So I started going to school and focusing in school. And let me tell you something. Sorry. Every time I go to school, I pinch myself. Am I here? I feel
Yes.
really grateful that I'm here, that
Yes.
I'm among all these kids that are going to school, that I feel normal, even though I'm not normal per se, like
Yes.
all the kids
Yeah.
out there.
We
But
know, yeah.
but I'm grateful. And I think that what made me survive when I was young age, I have a mindset saying, this is temporary, temporary. It's
That's
not
the
permanent.
key. Key, temporary.
That's the key word that stuck on my,
Temporary.
yes.
Temporary. Nothing stays the same forever. Everything must change by universal law and principle. The cause and effect, it does change. Arnie's name is up there, you guys. If you see your name, Arnie, up at the top in the center, you'll see Arnold G. It's got some gold. It's got this little thing around it. So I wanted to create a painting. It's a raw canvas out of putting people's names together. So you're going on my memory, on my memory canvas. That's an excellent, excellent answer. And I love that you're so passionate about being grateful. Key word, grateful, grateful, and temporary. Those are two key words that he's taught us today. So going about grateful now, when you sit someone down to talk to them and you do your mentor thing, somebody wants to talk to you, I'm having a hard time, or I'm not having a hard time. How can I move further ahead? How can I get further ahead? And they are helping you maybe create something. Maybe it's somebody you're hiring to help you create a feature or one of your stories. How much of what do you look at in the person other than their own natural, raw, pure talent? What are some of the other things they have to bring to the table?
Are you talking about being an artist or just
both? Because you're all of those things. You're an artist, you are a magazine publisher. So if you're doing a feature article on an artist or whatever your subject is, what do you look at other than their story or their natural talent? And in particular, if you're dealing with artists and you are looking like, okay, I want this next artist to do this, I want this next thing, what are you looking for other than natural talent?
First of all, I focus on their passion. And then because I took psychology and work in the mental health, so I have to, my job is to analyze the particular person, their strength. I want to know their strength first. And then we'll work on this weakness. And then when that weakness is basically, by that time, I earned the credibility, because you have to earn the credibility in order for them to open up to you. You can't just say demand and do this. It doesn't work that way. And they stop rebelling against you. So what I did, I had this singing contest. After I stepped down my music, I opened this whole gate about people traveling around the world and want to be a star and want to be in that. But it's called Shine On Artists Meet the Industry, about all the record label and all that. So we mentor them in so many ways how to basically connect with the audience. That's the biggest problem I saw on a lot of these artists is self-confident. The self-confidence is so low. Sometimes they could really sing, and some of them might be able to perform, but the insecurity is so large, bigger than their talent sometimes. So I'm trying to work with them to look at inside them. And one of the exercises that I gave them, I want you to one person, I put on the chair and then with the mirror, and I said, I want you to look at yourself for 5 minutes. Take everything out of your head. Just chant the 5 great things about you. You need to bring that up to your head and start communicating. When you start communicating with that, because you are on your own tempo, you're the best person that can move forward. Nobody can. They can guide you, but you have to make the will. So you have to convince yourself that you are enough, that you're good enough to make that step. You can't let other people deal for you because you're cheating. If you cheat, you're not going to learn. And then you're going to cry later when something hits you harder. So you have to learn the step first. Every step counts. You don't take shortcuts. The more you take your shortcut, the more you have to go back later and relearn it. And you don't want to waste time, because time is ticking.
Precious.
And it's very precious. Yeah, learn it. Every challenge that come to your life is part of you to learn, not to have some people to fix you. And that's what I'm trying to tell the kids today. All the challenges, trying to work on it, learn it. Don't try to run away from it and have other people fix it,
Mhm.
because you're cheating on your own self. And because if you cheat on your own self, and then there's other challenges comes in, and that's going to be very difficult for you to resolve it, because you cheated in the very first grade, second grade, or whatever grade that you want to be.
Yeah.
So for me, I embrace every challenges in my life, and that's what I tell them: love yourself, listen to yourself, don't self-sabotage yourself. It's the last thing you want to do, you know, because the more you sabotage yourself, the more you run away from yourself, and you don't want to do that.
Mhm. Let's talk a little bit more. I want to go back a little bit. When you were a teenager, you're in the you were in the Philippines as a teen, or in the United States?
I
Philippines.
was 13 when I here in the United States. Yes,
Okay,
yes.
so when you came into the US, that language barrier, and by the way, you guys, you don't have to be a foreigner to have a language barrier. I would like my they've heard me say I was born in the South, and at the time I was born, I didn't, we were in town, but I didn't know how to speak good English because they talk like this, and they talk real fast, and blah, 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 and it talked in broken language. So I didn't have a good command, although my father would have us go get the Webster. He used to go get Mr. Webster. And that's how I learned English. And then I had to, proper English, I should say. And then I went to language labs to learn language. So just so you know, all Americans don't know how to speak proper English either. So the fact that you're brave enough to go from one completely foreign language to English is itself an award-winning event. So when you got here, what was the first thing? Did your family come with you? Did you come alone? How did you get your grounding enough to move yourself through, then put yourself into college, right?
Back in Yeah, we moved here. We moved from the Philippines to the United States in 1972 or 73. I'm not
Yeah.
sure which. And then Napa Valley, and then after that we moved to Vallejo, which is next to city. So I, I,
Wow.
I went through the whole process until I realized that I have to learn the English, I have to learn the country, I have to learn everything because it's a different
Mhm.
world for me. And I took advantage of it. I took advantage of it. And the
Mhm.
career, the job, and I realized that the only person who's holding me up is me,
Yes.
regardless of my situation, regardless of my English. And there's a lot of people out there believe in me. I didn't believe in myself for many, many years until I realized that, hey, you know what? A lot of people out there look at me differently that I don't. That's why I wrote that song called I'm Free. And it really talks about that, what people thinks about me, and versus what I think about me and stuff.
Yourself. Yeah. Yes.
It's really kind of interesting, that vibe there. But the bottom line is, in order for me to get the job that I'm really passionate about, which is electronics, computers in the early 80s and all
Mhm.
that, is for me to step up to the equation, meaning I have to learn how to speak proper English, and I have to learn the technology lingo, languages and things like that, because every industry had their own languages, So,
Mhm.
and so I basically learned that, and I was good at it. And at first, in the early 80s, I have to dig for computers. Right after I worked in the Mattel Hospital, I got hurt. And then after 7.5 years, and then decided to go to the computer industry in the
Wow.
mid 80s. Okay. And that's when I started getting, I mean, as far as my career just took off. And I moved to Northern California and Southern California, and I worked with a lot of computer companies, major computer companies, and I held a high position in every one of them, vice president and all that.
Uh-huh.
And, yeah, there's nothing perfect, but I was, people like my personality. And then this lady, the headhunter, said to me, you know what? You have a great personality. Why don't you, do you ever do sales and marketing? I said, no. Oh, no, I don't speak proper English. I said that to her. No, don't say that. I think you speak good English. Why not just go and try it? And she did. And since then, I've become top. I mean, provide, I mean, everything. I've met my quota in every level. The
Yes.
customer loves to call me, and because I'm very product knowledge and everything that I'm helping them instead of just trying to sell, push the box at the door, and every way they can. So all this. Things I've done in the computer industry, and all these customers start calling me, and then that's when I formed my computer company. It's called Microflex Technology. I've
Oh,
become a
wow.
millionaire in less than 6 months because of my
What's it
computer.
called again?
Microflex Technology.
Microflex
Um,
technology.
yeah, it's no longer
Wow.
there. Folded because I got ill and I went back. But that's when I saw my ability, who I am,
Hmm.
regardless of my English, regardless of all my background.
Hmm.
I'm really grateful that I'm able to get out of it. And really, it took a lot of me to love who I am, to accept me who I am, and instead of worrying about all the stuff that happened to me. I don't want
Yes,
to be a victim.
absolutely.
I don't want to be a victim of my own circumstances. I want to be able to learn that situation to build me who I am today, not
Let's
to
go.
victimize myself.
I agree. I so hardly agree. I have that same mindset, which is where you how you get where you're going. Now, you like myself, you're coming from performing all of
Yes.
this multi-talent. How does your experience on the stage translate when you have to edit and curate things, stories behind the camera? What happens?
Well, I basically every time you go on stage, you have to be prepared and go for
Okay.
rehearsal with your dancers, rehearse with you know. Um, I was a dancer by trade first. I used to dance with a lot of major stars out there back then, and
Yes.
like in the 70s all the way to the 80s, and then I got into modeling and I didn't like it, you know. So I decided to go for in music, and because I love singing, and
Yeah.
so I basically realized what taught me to be comfortable on stage was to be a dancer first, because I was dancing and singing with tons of people. And then when I wanted to grab that microphone and say, I want to do my dancing and sing at the same time, like, like
Yeah.
Chris Brown, Hustler and all that. So I did. I went out there and started performing, and people gravitate to me. They love my energy. And it's that right there really, I owe my life to people. The
Hmm.
people who are the one who built me.
Hmm.
They're the one who made me.
Hmm.
I would not take human for granted. And that's the reason why I'm so grateful for human, for anybody out there that, because they made me who I am. And I love myself. I learned to love myself. But when you go on stage, you have to have that positive energy. You have to
Yes, you do.
connect with the audience. You have
Yes, you
to
do.
engage with them, not just get up there and hold my microphone and that's it. No, I engage with them. I look at them. I sing with them, and they love that connection. And I'm really happy that I have that kind of connection with a lot of my fans.
Yeah. Oh, yes, and I can see why they love you. I'm like, no, really? People love you. I can't imagine. I can't imagine them not wanting to talk to you. Next question. I want to know when you're on your music releases, a music release, when you do them, they're like a complete multi-sensory expansion visual story in a time where everything is 10 seconds, 5 seconds, 15 seconds. How do you preserve the art of cinematic storytelling when everything, people want to be, have a quick fix? How do you preserve that?
I do it to my show. Every time I do, every time I perform, I'm known as a futuristic artist. That's like my clothes. I have a long stretch coat. I got whatever. That's my look. And I want to be able, because my music is so high energy,
Hmm.
and it brings this. I want to bring all this, the storytelling to the
Yeah.
screen through my dancers and me performing at the same time. We have storytelling every time we go on stage, and that has to be. I communicate with my choreographer. They ask me, Arnold, how do you want to deal with this? I met some. My team is amazing. So basically, we formulate the story and then add whatever necessary on stage to make it so we can tell the story, and we make it possible. And I think that's what I stand out most when I perform out there. There's a story behind it, not
Yeah,
just
you have a lot of energy, and I can imagine, like myself, I can imagine that stage would be very comfortable, and all of that. Now, where really quickly, because I graduated from Sonoma State in Vallejo and lived in Northern California in Santa Rosa. Where did you go there? I would really quickly, just before I ask you the final question, where did you go there when you were in Napa Valley? Napa Valley, Sebastopol, Guerneville, that whole little area there in Northern California.
Well, I
What
went
were
to
you
Franklin.
doing there?
I had to go to that town, because I was homeless. And
Oh,
I,
okay.
yes, yeah, I moved up from Napa Valley, and I had to go to Vallejo,
Yeah,
and then
Vallejo.
I went to Franklin High School, junior high
Valley Show.
school.
Uh-huh.
Franklin Junior High School in Vallejo. If I don't know if you're familiar with that,
Yes.
Sonoma County. So basically, it was a very, very, very challenging. Not very. I'm so sorry. It's not that challenging compared to the Philippines. Let me put it that way. I'm actually grateful meeting so many different type of people, regardless of where they come from, and yeah, I got a lot of setbacks. I'm bullied by the kids, but it doesn't matter. It taught me
Part
so
of the
well.
journey. Yeah.
Yeah, but I love Vallejo. I really love Northern California. I love America. Period.
It's different. Yeah. It's way
Yes,
different from LA. Yeah. But I came from there to here. So it's interesting. It's a whole
yeah.
different thing. And a reason that it's different is because of Hollywood, the element of Hollywood in Los Angeles versus in Northern Cal, it's just regular folk doing regular things. But for our final question, because I want to hear all of you and experience all of your essence while you're in front of me and in front of the audience out there. If someone is watching right now and feeling overwhelmed by the noise of the industry and the noise of the world and struggling to get their story heard, what would be the most important piece of advice that you would share with them?
I would say to people you need to be patient with yourself. You need to start loving yourself and caring about yourself. It's all within. It's all the peace, everything comes within. You're number one before you go out there. And I want people to understand, just because you might work on it, it doesn't mean you can fix it right away. No, yeah, it's up to you how far you want to go, but don't be discouraged. Don't be impatient. You're human. You're learning. You're not a robot. You're not anybody, programmed.
Yeah.
Allow yourself to grow. Allow yourself to fall and pick yourself up. Do not let anybody pick yourself up, because you have to learn how to pick yourself up. So make sure that every fall that you have, that you know you can do it, just pick yourself up. Pick yourself up. And things that you always wanted to do in the past that you haven't done, it just takes action and try it, and you might like it. There's always option to many situations in life. There's no dead end. There's no dead end at all. And that's one of the things I've learned about working in mental health. That's when I deal with suicidals, depression, and all that. So, there's always solution. Don't run into any like drugs and any other that's going to numb you down. And you're not going to be effective at all. It's only going to weigh you down more. Alcoholic and all that stuff. I'm not trying to say, you have to be completely blue here. But what I'm trying to say here, if you want to improve your life and want to see a different world than what you have now, and you want something better, take action, but just be patient with yourself, and don't let anybody tell you anything unless you approved it, knowing that you could do it. Because everybody has their own journeys, and you have your own. And that's one of the things I like about human. I learned when I work in the mental health hospital, whether if you're autism, DDs, or mentally ill, whatever, each individual are different. We have to treat patients differently, every one of them. Okay, yeah, every one of them have in common. They all want something. They all want attention. They'll do anything to get attention, and that's human nature kind of thing. But how do you get your attention knowing that it's going to benefit you instead of weigh you down? It's, you have to calculate that in your head and know, I want to be productive. I want to be successful. I want to be able to focus on my energy to something that's going to improve me, knowing that I'm going to be proud. And within, even though I'm going through right now, don't lose that hope, because within every step you make, it becomes something that you're going to learn about more of you. And then you can, it's like building a muscle, you know, keep going. And then you'll, next time you know, you're there already.
Wow. That is deep and profound. I tell you, it's a lot of, you've done so much good. Aren't you proud of yourself? Your family must be immensely proud. You know, and family meaning your world family. I have a world family. And then you have your immediate family, of course. You know, everybody must be very proud of you. So we're getting close to time. I want you to shout out your social medias or where we can find out more about Shine on Hollywood Magazine, and how is the magazine doing? It seems to be growing a lot. So what's happening with the magazine?
Well, right now we're putting on hold on the magazine because there's so much chaos. We can't get everybody's attention while they're on the situation we're here in Hollywood and around the world. So we're putting everything on pause until things calms down. Like I said, when it's hot, we don't touch. So we kind of like let things to calm down a little more. And then we can start releasing the magazine. Right now, we haven't released one issue this year just because of all the stuff going on. And so I'm focusing on my music, and I got a new single coming out. It's Dreams, EDM, Arnold G. You can Google it. Well, it will be released tomorrow.
But what's it called? What are we Googling? AI in
YouTube and put Arnold G Dreams EDM. EDM. It stands for electronic dance music. It's going to be released tomorrow, supposedly. We just got the mechanical license recently. So I got the licensing, so now we can release it. And then we'll hope to make it to the Grammy. Because the dead end of the Grammy is on August 21st. So get behind on that. The magazine, you can look me up on arnoldg.com, or that's my website, arnoldg.com, or you can look me up on social media, Arnold G Music. And then my magazine, Shine on Hollywood Magazine, or SOHM, or whatever. So you can Google that, and you'll be able to see the magazine. It's archivable. You guys can go back to some of those articles, and you can read them, and you can easily be empowered. So my goal is to come up with a solution to the situation we are. That's why I'm kind of staying back a little bit. And then I'm going to come out with I'm all about independent artists.
Me too.
And I am all about independent artists. So I'm working with a lot of people the Grammy, because, you know, there's 90-something categories in the Grammy, and the 10 only that goes into telecast, and those are paid by the record labels. But all the other 80% of 80 categories are not being shown on public. So that's my goal as a media, is to give them the exposure, the interviews and all that stuff, just like the major media are doing. And that's my goal, is to really focus on that, on the independent artists and actors and filmmakers.
Oh, I love it, because we don't have enough. Everybody, I mean, I will say this safely. I'm just being intuitive, you guys. You can take it to the bank if you want to, and I'm just telling you. As we move more into the age of Aquarius, the humanity, or the humane aspect of human beings, even if we have to beat down, shuffled off the planet, stars fall out of the sky, we will come correct, because we are not in charge. There are universal laws that are in charge that govern mankind, humanity, and everything else, the skies, the heavens. And although we have become very brilliant at technology and our minds are functioning, we've lost a lot of our humanity and our spiritual essence. And in order to bring balance to life, like my mother used to say, if you don't learn it, life will teach it to you. So we will all have to live through and witness some of the mistakes we've made, some of the things we've done wrong, some of the things we're going to correct. And one of them is bringing more focus on real life and real life stories, as Arnie G does, and also not putting people in a box. I hate boxes. He's not in a box. That's what I love about indie artists. They're not, you can't box us in. We can do anything. We want to dance, we can dance. If we want to act, we can act, and good at it. It's not like, we've been gifted with these things. A lot of us have been gifted. And then with someone like Arnie G, who is multi-talented, he has not only multi-talented, he's lived his experience. So he can come and be authentic with us, not try to make up some story. Oh yeah, my dog died when I was, not saying that's not important, but just saying, don't let us not downplay those people that have lived through tremendous odds and overcome tremendous circumstances that a lot of us wouldn't even begin to be able to stand up to. Let's give them their flowers, and so I salute you. You've been through a lot, so I salute you. And so that's our show for today. We want to thank again Arnie G, Arnold G, I like Arnie G, for coming on and sharing his story. Again, you can pump him by supporting his new drop tomorrow. YouTube, it's called Dreams EDM, Electronic Digital Music, on YouTube and anywhere else you find his name. He needs support. That's what we're supporting, that talent right now. And in terms of his magazine, just continue to keep up with the magazine. There'll be other articles coming out as things die down out there in the public. As for me, don't forget, I am on IG. I'm all over the place. I'm on Snapchat. I'm on IG, TikTok, all of them. You can find my name. I'm everywhere, all over the place, all at the same time. And don't forget, without you, my looms, my people of light, without you shining your essence, speaking your voice. Look at this one. He's a luminary. Speaking your voice, shining, through all the things. And a lot of time looms, no matter what we're going through, the light becomes brighter because and you're breathing and you're grateful, as Arnie G would say. So don't forget about that. And don't forget to like. Woo! I did these myself. Okay, laugh if you will. Share. And above all, subscribe. Subscribe to Arnie G. Subscribe to any other independent artist that you know and love out there. Subscribe. We need it. We would not be here without you. We would not be here. And shout out to my special, lovely, I love this man, Sam Hassan. LA Talk Radio. Without you, I could not do the show every week. We want to thank Arnie G once more before we get out of here. Don't forget, I loke you. I love you like you're my own. I'm connected to you. Whether I know you're not, my blood is in your blood. My vibe, my energy is going to you when you're connecting to me. It's an energy, whether you can see it or not, to you out there. And don't forget, I love you for standing true to yourself, for being consistent, showing up every day, not giving up, not falling prey to the temporary circumstances that we all are faced with as lessons to grow from time to time, okay? So I'll see you next week. Don't forget to smile. It works wonders. And let's all give a shout out and flowers to this brave, young, courageous person, Arnie G, okay? Don't forget the drop tomorrow. Dreams, EDM Music, YouTube. See you there. Bye-bye.
Very good. Sorry.
You're listening to The Osiris Munir Show, only on LA Talk Radio.